Alright, here is step number 2 on the current F250 mods. So we got the Leer DCC commercial topper, and it's got the front sliding window so I could put long stock between my two sliding windows. Solid door. This one's got the metal, which I was expecting that this side would be black, and I'm pretty sure it's just bolted in, so I'm going to unbolt it and paint that black. I do not do advertising, so I'm going to take off all of these stickers, but it's got the third brake light. It's got custom cutout for the F250 funky tailgate situation, and it's got this is pretty thick. It's probably 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch, and it's got these rain gutter things up here, and I got the generic keys. They got these keys where it'll use your truck key, but I did not want to tie this specifically to this truck, because if I get a diesel, I'll just get the same bed in a diesel and I'll move it up. They put a bunch of caulk there for some reason, so when that dries, that'll be clear. And so this side, and it's a little bit taller than the roof. It's not exactly flush, but I'm not putting any real flush kind of roof racks anyway. I might do one of them super real low profile ones on the roof, or I might do a DIY one on here, but that's a future project when I figure out, because the only thing that would go up there right now is traction boards. But right now, so this side it's got these T-handles. They only come in chrome. They would not black out the T-handles for me. But it rotates. It's got stiff springs. And this side's a toolbox. And it's got good shocks. It's got this aluminum tack weld kind of thing going. They say it's TIG welded. Why they don't do all the sides, I don't know. I mean, they did just custom build this for me, so you would think they would weld it all. So I'm gonna figure out just what I can mount, how I can mount it. And I left they got a second skin option where they'll put another thin piece of aluminum, but you don't see your struts. And mainly all that does is if you put your hammer sticking like that and you slam the lid, that piece of skin will slow it down so the outside doesn't dent as much. That's the whole reason for that skin. But the lock system is alright. It's pretty hefty. It's got these rubber, they're just hard plastic. So plastic wheels. I am 6'1" with about an 8-foot reach, and I'm flat-footed, but just barely. It's a bit of a hike to get up to that lid, and it's pretty stout. It'll slam and make a big old loud boomy aluminum noise. And so then the back, yeah, it's bolted good. I thought it was bolted from the pictures. Oh, no. They did put a weld on it. Boogers. So it's bolted, and then they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They got 6 spot welds. I don't know why they bothered welding this frame. I guess it probably holds the glass in. Oh, wait. No, yeah, that's one piece. Yeah, so maybe I won't paint that on the inside. We'll see. We'll see how DIY I'm going to get on modifying this thing. I thought I was just going to unscrew it. So, you can see the reflection there. I got an LED bar on the door. There's another LED bar right there. And they got a magnet switch, they're calling it, where when I open the door, it turns the light on. And there's way more room under this toolbox than I expected, so that'll help, because now I can get to my decked ammo cans. And I could put some littler totes, or I could put gas can or whatever under there. This is the power distribution for the lights, and they got conduit on this side. On the inside they got that plastic conduit, and these lights unclip. Can't really, there it is. So you can unclip the 3 lights, the brake light and the door lights, it looks like. So if you take the topper off, or if these are just in there in those hooks, this light slides. So if you want to rotate it down or up or left or right, that's all doable. This is an on-off button somehow, some way. I'll do another short little clip after dark to see it actually function, because it's not an instant response, and I don't get it. The guy was like, it's LED, so it's got a delay. I'm like, that makes 0 sense, because light is light. And then these are all pretty welded on up here. I can put a roof rack if I want to, and you just bolt through these when you put your roof rack on, I guess, or through these. You just pick a good spot. And then that whole front is open, so I could probably put molly panels or something, or put my quick fists and have my shovel. Oh, that's a long ways up for the shovel, so I don't know what'll go up in the nose, or if anything will go in the nose. I might just leave it big and open like this. So this toolbox in all the pictures had a bunch of screws and stuff and hangers, and they were hanging hoses and extension cords and short ladders and stuff. So I asked the salesman, and they're riveted there, there, and there. He said I could just add a couple more rivets here if I wanted. I don't know why they didn't, because that's kind of floppy. But I could put hooks on there. He said you could probably get away with mounting the 2-gallon Rotopax gas can, but he would not do, because that's about 16 pounds, but he would not do the 5-gallon Rotopax, which is about 40 pounds. So I am thinking I could put my traction boards on here. They're light. I could just get a couple of bolts and shove them through and bolt the traction board onto it. And then this is a surface I can hang something on, Put little S hooks or something if I wanted. If you got some long, light stuff, you could put it across. I mean, this is pretty thin and chintzy. I mean, it's totally flexible. That's all the fatter it is. But you could put PVC or long stock, whatever, across these. That's probably why they left this open on the curve, because you could put quite a bit. I mean, it's a pretty good size hole. What else we got? I haven't actually been inside it. Guess I could hoist myself up. It's got these, it's just clamped on with bolts. So it looks like just ratchets. Just a socket wrench. Just a socket wrench, that'll take it all off. So I did the toolbox on one side because that'll hold all of my little bags, like my DeWalt tools and my winter camping gear and sleeping bag and whatever can go in there. Today I used it for hauling groceries on the way back, so that worked pretty good. And then with the deck system in there, so that is, yeah, pretty good. And it's about a foot, about 11 inches or so. Well, I got a tape measure. I guess I could measure on here. That is, oh, not 11. 9 3/4. So that's 9 3/4 inches. So my hand ain't as big as Dad's. Dad brags about how his is 11, so he's got a ruler all the time. So mine's 9 3/4. There you go. 9 1/2 is what I got. And then, oh, this is fabric conduit going through into the bed. So that's probably hooked into the brake light, I would expect. So I guess they must have took that off and hooked it in. And then this side opens up. It's pretty strong. I'm sure it'll be softer when I get into the cold Wyoming and North Dakota territory. And that's, you know, it's just like tack welded. I really expected that it would be all the edges. I mean, I guess it's strong enough, but you would think they could take their little stick and go and just do it up a little bit. But it's pretty roomy. And then the door here is pretty good height, so I could reach my totes. I could put my stuff here. I could reach this ammo can here. I could reach these tie downs. Oh, and for those that don't know, these are called core tracks when you buy them from Decked, and they supposedly got their holes custom lined up for mounting on this system. I found out the generic name is L-Track. So if you want accessories for this thing, you don't got to pay $50 for two dumb little rings from Decked. You can pay $10 at Cal Ranch, CAL Ranch, and get 2 rings. Or you could pay $20 and get like, what was it, 12 rings on Amazon. So it's called L-Track. This stuff is called L-Track. I don't know why, but that's what it is. And then I'm still debating on whether to trim out the Decked system and put those molly panels back, but that would give me a little teeny piece of molly panel there and there, and it's probably not even worth the effort of cutting it down. I could probably get a long piece of molly panel for here. That might be useful. And there's a little bit of a gap up front, so you could put a gas can, or you put a Rotopax in there. That ain't bad. And then it's pretty shiny. You can see my reflection. Glass is pretty clear. It looks like there ain't even a window in it. And then that slides. So I got to do my electric sliding window in the cab, but then that's just your standard. Has a little clip. And overall it looks pretty good. So this is all pretty curved on the truck, so I wasn't expecting that to come out to the edges like a fiberglass shell would, but that gives you a little working ledge. You can set something there while you, I mean, it ain't very big, but you could set something there while you dink around. Let's hear these shocks. Yeah, that's pretty stiff. The key is a little bit short, so where'd I put the key? Wrong pocket. That's where I put the key. So the key itself is really short, so your whole bundle of crap. But that's locked. That's unlocked. Pretty simple stuff. And it was rainy and stuff, so I got little splatters of mud already just from driving back over the mountain. But overall, it's actually giving the truck kind of a militaristic look. I just wanted not fancy sporty, but it's looking kind of militaristic. It ain't bad. And I've added, I don't like fender flares, but when I got my new wheels, they wouldn't inset the same as factory, so I was slinging mud up onto my rear view mirror, so I had to get the fender wells. And I ain't even done that much mudding. I mean, I've done a couple of gravel roads is about the extent. Most of that's probably cow and sheep dropping from the highway I just went on. And my next big purchase is going to be some better tires. These are not that great in the snow. The Discoverer AT3, Cooper Discoverer AT3, they're not that great in the snow. I got stuck like 4 times in 2 feet of freaking snow. It really bugged me. The next project is I'm going to put the winch on. I swung by Harbor Freight on the way back and I'm going to take out the license plate area and put that in. I had to get bigger wrenches. That little thing there, I don't know if you could even see it through the reflection. Maybe you could see it. A little floral bag with googly eyes and a star and it's on it. That's my traveling companion. Little 6-year-old girl from my last job made that for me when she found out I was road tripping by myself, so she made me a traveling companion. So that rides up in my console behind my GPS and stuff. She was like, "You're driving alone, you're going like thousands of miles by yourself, you gotta have somebody in your truck with you." So she made that for my going away present. And I added these rain guards because I like to drive with the windows down and that helps. And I added these well liners. That's keeping the inside of the truck a little cleaner. You could tell just by how much stuff is on them. And I added the mud flaps It's amazing how much stuff Ford does not put on their pickup truck that used to be stock. I put this shock on the tailgate so it was slow open. And as all the reviews say, the only problem, DEEZEE is the brand name. All the reviews say the only problem with it is you forget other people don't have it. So if you open somebody else's truck, you slam their tailgate. And then this light, see, I'm on my tiptoes to reach that one. That one's dull, but that's pretty thick. And look how thick that is. So overall, it cost me about $3,400 for this configuration. And that's installed with the shipping and everything I got it at Sam T. Evans in Midvale, Utah is where I actually just came from this morning. But yeah, I think it'll do the job. I think it'll work. I'm not disappointed. It didn't seem to handle a whole lot different on the road, and I just hit a few 70, 80 mile an hour stretches on the highway where traffic was ridiculous and everybody was driving super fast until they weren't. I was almost late for my appointment because in the last 10 miles there was a traffic jam. And then, oh yeah, they wired it to the this part though could use some work. They wired it to the battery and it's just slung across the top. There's zero protection for this little wire, so I'm gonna have to crawl under and see where that's going exactly and see if I could get any conduit onto it. But yeah, like that's what is that? That is a funky heat shrink. Like it ain't a heat shrink tube, it's like heat shrink tape or something, but it dripped on a butt splice, and then they did not heat shrink that one. Oh, this one might be for I think this one's for my airbag. Never mind. This one's for the topper. This one's the new one. So they heat shrunk it with something. But it's got a 5 amp fuse going to the topper. And this part's pretty toasty. I can feel it just from here. So I should put some conduit on those two. So it looks like they just followed the line where I already had some stuff. And I ought to scrape some stuff out. So that is the Leer DCC aluminum commercial topper. It'll probably dent up when a tree branch smacks it or something, but oh well. It's gonna do what it's gonna do, and I'm gonna use it like a truck. So, alrighty. Well, thanks for watching. Check out my other review stuff and my GoFundMe for my campground oasis I'm going to make. So find you some peace and happiness on your adventures. And have a good one, y'all.